sorry to hear about your handbag being stolen. I hope they get the CCTV. If they do, let me have it, and I'll see if I can make some identifications.
Is it? Do you know what? While I've been on it, Mr. London number, so that could well be the shop calling me. Annoyingly, the adverts aren't long enough to follow back. I'll tell you what it was, Mike. I've just got so used to living in a high-trust society again. Now I've moved back out to Gloucestershire. In the town centre I go to, you can just forget your stuff anywhere and it'll be there. And I was trying on a coat, my Christmas birthday present from all my family, and I was putting it on, making sure it fit okay before purchasing it. And there I was. And obviously, because I'm putting on a coat, the handbag's not over my shoulder. And I look round and I'm like, oh, it ain't here anymore. And then I was like, oh, yeah, now I remember. I'm in London. But yeah, I'll hold you to that, actually, if they do have it, because they've given me a call. So perhaps they do have evidence, or perhaps they found the bag. Who knows?
Yeah, good.
Anyway, let's it wasn't a big drama. There wasn't really much in it, to be honest. So Yabu sucks, whoever tried to pinch it thinking it was their lottery win. Here's a story for you. This is sort of squidged out quite recently, actually. Quite frightening. An Afghan man has attacked hospital staff, allegedly attacked hospital staff, with a weapon after being denied an appointment. Officers were called to Newton Community Hospital in Newton Le Willows in Merseyside at midday on Tuesday. Following reports, a man had attacked several people. The weapon may have been a crowbar, according to Merseyside police. The man was believed to have attended the hospital to request an appointment, but became increasingly agitated when his request was declined and he was asked to leave. He then was reported to have damaged a counter before assaulting people inside the building. The 20-year-old man, originally from Afghanistan, was arrested on suspicion of a Section 18 wounding, affray and criminal damage. The victims of the assault were being treated at hospital. None of the injuries are believed to be life-threatening. It all sounds like reading the witness statements and stuff, an absolute hullabaloo. A guy over the road in a shop said a woman bleeding from the head came in, asked him to call the police. 10 or 15 police cars arrived. That word Afghan seems to pop up a lot, doesn't it? And I think what we got to remember is whether, I think Afghans are not a particular type of people, but when you've got people coming from traumatic war zones, they're potentially not the most calm, let's say.
Well, it's not only that. We know that statistics have shown that Afghans are 20 times more likely than the British people to commit sex offences. And so these attacks, and I've no doubt there's a lot of women involved in this, being a health centre. My wife and my eldest daughter are both nurses, and they don't go to work to be assaulted. And what we see, though, I think here, and we know it like places like Crowborough now, Epping down in Essex, it's not just the inner cities. And at times past, It was just inner cities who had these lots of migrants and lots of crime as a result. And it's very easy to point the finger at, say, the Met Police or the Manchester Police, Birmingham Police, say, they're racist, they're picking on all these people. Now I think everybody's having a little taste of it in the Crowboroughs and Eppings and then Newton Le Willows, and it isn't a nice taste. It's a horrible thing. There are too many people being let into this country who refuse to live up to our standards of good behaviour, of treating women and girls with respect, of not committing violent acts, and who should really be grateful for being here. To be here, to have the safety of this nation and the NHS to treat them, and then this is the payment we get. And we've got to stop doing this. We are putting people at risk. It's outrageous. And I think because of Talk, it's been Talk and other stations like it, we're able at least to discuss it without being called racist.
Very, very true. And, I was trying to have this conversation with someone the other day on air saying that, look, if you're born and brought up in a country where the attitude towards women is, well, if she's out there living her best life, hasn't got a headscarf on, you can just do what you like, it's her own fault, snatch her up. Or if you come from a country where settling score is done with violence, and that's how you've been brought up, you're in your 20s and all you've seen all your life is, oh, right, grab that woman, boff him over the head. Do they think that suddenly these people are going to arrive, underneath the white cliffs of Dover and have some sort of mesmeric, complete frontal lobotomy transplant and suddenly find themselves be part of, the landed gentry about to go out on a hunt with a bugle? Of course not. People don't radically change. When you've been brought up somewhere with the values of that country, it takes a heck of a lot of time to shake that stuff off, whether you can shake it off at all. And
Alex, let me tell you this. My brother served in Afghanistan, and the compensation, if a young man was killed, the compensation was £5,000. If a girl was killed, the compensation was £500. So they can see the value of men is put at 10 times more than of women. That just sums up the attitude, and we cannot have all these people come into this nation with those attitudes in vast numbers. If we had one or two who would then have to fit into the whole society, we might survive. But when they can go in groups together and form these little enclaves of their own culture, it just doesn't work, and that's what's happened across the nation.
No, it has. And so this is why, the staggering thing about this story is a police chief, Katie Bourne, who's Sussex's Police and Crime Commissioner, says that asylum seekers should be tagged. Of course they should. I don't, let alone tag. That's a lot of money and a waste tagging them. Just don't let them out the blimmin' hotel. That denies them freedom. I'm sorry, but you're seeking asylum. You're not coming over here to have a jolly and, treat it like some sort of island of Butlins. We don't know who these people are. We don't know what backgrounds they have. We don't know if they're fleeing crimes. We don't know how safe they are. The fact that we just go, come on in, wander about, get to know the place is madness.
It is madness, and of course she is the Police and Crime Commissioner in Sussex, and the reason for this, of course, two reasons. Firstly, she's the national lead on shoplifting. She's seen the impact you can have with tags. In the fact you can track people and you can stop them going to certain places where they often steal. And secondly, she obviously covers the area of Crowborough, where this military camp, which I've stayed on myself, has been taken over, and they're going to have over 500 young, undocumented men who suddenly will be able to go to this little nice Sussex town of Crowborough and do as they will. And that isn't good enough. We should be able to track them. If you come to this country and say, help, I'm fleeing asylum. Of course, I'm leaving my wife and daughters and mother behind to face the warfare, but as a young man, I've run off. If that's the case, if you're that scared and you've come here and we give you a warm bed and nice food, then you should accept that this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this tag on you because we don't know who you are, and you're going to live with it. But of course, you've got these idiotic organisations. I see one quoted in there, which is the Refugees and Migrant Forum for Essex and London, banging on about this being cruel and torturous and against their human rights. What a load of nonsense. As I say, if I was in a situation where me and my family had to flee to another nation, and the other nation said, there's some accommodation, here's some food. However, you've got to wear this tag so we know where you are, so when before your claim comes up, we can track you. I would say thank you for welcoming me. Of course, I'll wear whatever you want me to, because I'm very grateful for all you've done for me. No,
exactly. If you're genuinely fleeing torture, persecution and war, you're happy just to not be there anymore. I think this is utterly shocking. Bad things are going to happen in Crowborough. Of course they are. It is inevitable. It breaks my heart when I see the amount of crimes, particularly sex crimes, taking place in Bournemouth. Let's talk now about shoplifting.